Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. Hey, you guys, Michelle here. You're listening to the Calm Mom Podcast. Thanks so much for spending some time with us today. We're going to talk about 5 ways that we can help to calm an overactive nervous system. So I think this is going to be a super practical episode for you guys. But before we jump in, I want to ask you, if you have not yet left the Calm Mom Podcast a 5-star rating or a short review, would you do so today? It takes, 15, 20 seconds. But really, it's the best way that we can get this show in front of other women just like you, so they can learn about their nervous system. They can learn how to better regulate their emotions, how to deal with fear and fight or flight and stress and overwhelm, and all of the things that you've benefited from learning as you've listened to this podcast. So if you are grateful for this show, if you've learned anything in this show, it's really the best way that you can thank me. I am just so grateful for every single one of you that takes just a few seconds to leave the show a 5-star rating, or even a short review. So I'm thanking you in advance. I'm so grateful for you. I love you guys. All right, let's jump in. What does it mean to have an overactive nervous system? Well, our nervous system is our body's command center, right? Like all of the messaging that's happening in our body, everything driving our thoughts, everything driving our behaviors, everything driving our words, all of that is rooted in our body's nervous system, that command center controlling all the messaging. And our nervous system has 3 different circuits, right? We know that through polyvagal theory. So one of the circuits is called our sympathetic nervous system. That's our body's fight or flight response. Maybe you guys are familiar with that term, right? And here's the thing about our sympathetic nervous system. It hasn't particularly evolved in the sense that we can still get stuck in fight or flight when there's no actual threat, no actual imminent danger to our body, right? And when we appropriately respond to a stressor and we go into our sympathetic nervous system, and then the stressor either dissipates, right? It's gone. It's no longer a threat to us. Then our body can regulate, and it's resilient and it's flexible, and we can complete that stress loop and we come back down to baseline stress level. And that's how we're designed to function. That's a healthy nervous system. But what happens nowadays, right, in the life that we live, the pace with which we live, the chronic stress with which we bear, right, that we bear, is that our body gets stuck in that sympathetic nervous system. It gets stuck in that fight or flight response. We don't close that stress loop, right? We're just hit with constant stress all day long. It's like financial stress, relational stress, health stress, stress of kids, stress of work, stress of all this stuff. And we get stuck in fight or flight. It's this overactive nervous system. And that's what we talk about when we say that we are feeling dysregulated, or that someone has a dysregulated nervous system, that they're getting stuck in this fight or flight. And if we get stuck in fight or flight, what might that look or feel like for us, right? You might feel anxious. You might feel panicky. You might have trouble sleeping, right? Either trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. It'll affect your mental function. So you might feel like you have brain fog or a lot of forgetfulness. It affects your mood. So you might feel kind of irritable and edgy. And it shows up in so many ways in our body also, like physically. Muscle tension, aches and pains. If you guys struggle with tightness or clenching in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your joints, digestive issues, right? If you have gut issues, if you've struggled with IBS, like even autoimmune conditions, infertility, so much of that, like especially obviously when it's not pathological, is rooted in our nervous system, in a nervous system that's stuck in fight or flight. And we talk about this a lot on the show, but I'm just going to repeat it because it's so important. And it goes to each of these 5 ways I'm going to teach you how to calm an overactive active nervous system, is that our nervous system does not speak a verbal language. What does that mean? It means that we can't just tell our body, we can't just tell our nervous system to chill out, right? We can't just be like, Michelle, calm down. It's not a big deal. Calm down. Like that doesn't really work. If you guys have ever felt super, super anxious, like no one wants to feel that way, right? You feel super irritable, super edgy, super frustrated. Like no one wants to feel that way. If it was easy enough for us to just be like, dude, chill out, Michelle, calm down, we would do it, right? That's not how it works. We have to show our body that it is safe to calm down, that it is safe to chill out in a way that our body and our nervous system understand. And it's not through words. It's not necessarily even ultimately or all about our thoughts and our mindset. That plays a part of it. But our nervous system understands movement. Our nervous system understands sound. Our nervous system understands breath. Our nervous system understands touch, those kinds of things. So here's what I want to do today. I want to give you guys 5 ways to help calm your overactive nervous system, a nervous system that's stuck in fight or flight. And these are 5 ways, you guys, that are going to signal safety to your body. When you want to shift to a space of calmness, a shift to a space of like presence, feeling really connected and compassionate and open, all of that stuff is rooted in safety in your nervous system. So I'm going to give you 5 ways to signal safety to your body so it can shift out of fight or flight and back into what we call our ventral vagal circuit, where we feel that calm, present, connected, clear feeling that we all really enjoy, right? Okay, so the first way that you can calm an overactive nervous system, y'all, it's moving your body. Moving your body. And for those of you who struggle to do this consistently, don't turn me off. Don't roll your eyes at this. You do not have to go to the gym. You do not have to, join a CrossFit. It doesn't have to be this super intense thing. I'm not asking you to train for a marathon. I'm just asking you to move your body on a consistent basis every single day. We experience stress every single day, right? Yes. So we have to have ways to release that stress every single day. And moving your body is one of the best ways you can do that. It can be Pilates. It can be sitting on the floor in your bedroom and stretching and finding like a 10-minute video on YouTube that helps you just move your body. It can be going for a walk, right, around your office building over lunchtime and taking 10 minutes to do that and then eating your lunch instead of just sitting at your desk. Don't overcomplicate this, right? Don't like baby steps here. Just move your body. I had a client that I was working with who literally started with just a 3-minute walk. It's like, can you just start with 3 minutes? And then ultimately after a few weeks, she was up to 5-6 minutes. And then she was up to 10 minutes. And just increase it that way. I don't really care how you start. Just start. It can be super small, you guys. Sometimes for me, it's just like rolling out of my bed, like literally melting out of my bed and sitting on the floor and just stretching. And if some days that's all I got in the tank, I'm proud of myself because that's better than nothing. And other days I feel really energized and really strong and really motivated. And those days moving my body might look really different. Here's why it's so important. 1, when you move your body, there's a release of certain hormones and chemicals, right? So exercise stimulates the release of endorphins. That's like, we know after we've worked out before, we've all had this experience one way or another. You feel so good after, right? Because those endorphins, they act as natural mood lifters. They make you feel better. They also act as painkillers. They help reduce feelings of stress and anxiety, and they just make you feel good. They make you feel calm. They promote a sense of well-being. So it's so powerful. The other thing is that on this show, we talk a lot about cortisol and we talk a lot about adrenaline, right? Those are our body's stress hormones. And when we move our body, that sort of physical activity, it actually lowers the levels of cortisol and adrenaline that are in your body. So those are the hormones that send us into fight or flight, right? So the more that we can reduce the levels of those stress hormones in our body, we're going to experience a more balanced and regulated nervous system. And then the last thing, that's why I talk about even just stretching, is that physical activity, if you're going for a walk, if you're going for a jog, if you're stretching, if you're doing Pilates, whatever it is, it helps relax tense muscles. And y'all, if you're stuck in fight or flight, you're probably experiencing some level of muscle tension somewhere in your body, right? You might even feel like you have a really tight like pit in your stomach, or you've constantly struggled with clenched jaw or TMJ or something where you've had to wear like a mouth guard at night, or chronic neck pain or shoulder pain. So when we can engage in these activities that include moving and stretching, when those muscles release that tension, that relaxation of the muscles, it actually signals to the brain that we're safe. And it helps to switch off that stress response and promote a sense of relaxation and calm that so many of us want. So that's the first one, moving your body. The second way to calm an overactive nervous system is, and I love this, it's using your voice, singing, humming, laughing. Like, how many of you have hummed or sang to your children when they were little to help calm them down or to put them to sleep, right? Humming and singing stimulate our vagus nerve. Our vagus nerve is this key component, this key nerve in our parasympathetic nervous system. And that's the circuit that's responsible for promoting relaxation and calming our body and getting us out of fight or flight. So when we activate that vagus nerve by humming or by singing, it helps induce a state of calmness, and it reduces those feelings of stress and anxiety. And here's the other thing about humming or singing, is that we have to regulate our breathing in order to hum and to sing, right? If we have really quick, shallow breaths, you can't hum like that, right? You can't sing like that. So if you're humming or singing throughout your day, or if you're feeling stressed and you start humming, like by default, you're just going to start breathing differently, right? You're going to have deeper breaths, more of that diaphragmatic breathing. And that type of breathing activates your body's relaxation response, right? And then there's a physiological response to that. It'll decrease your heart rate. It'll lower your blood pressure, right? It'll reduce your muscle tension. All of these things contribute to a regulated nervous system. So that's the second one. Humming or singing, even playing music at your desk. Like, this is something that I do sometimes. I'll just play like really calming music that has words that I'm familiar with. And then I'm just like kind of humming and singing to myself as I'm working. And I find it to be really calming when I need it. Number 3, I talk a lot about our breath on this show. And if you guys have listened for a while, you know that one of my favorite breaths is called the physiological breath. And I love it so much because it's quick. And for me and for most people, you only need to do this a few times. I'm talking 2, 3, 4 times, which takes a total of like 30 seconds in order to notice a shift in the state of your nervous system. And here's how it goes. You breathe in through your nose. You can do it with me now if you want. Breathe in through your nose until it feels like you're completely full. Your lungs are full. You're at capacity at the top of your breath. And when you feel like you get to that point, you do one more quick inhale through your nose. And then you breathe out through your mouth very slowly. Maybe a count of 6 or 7 or 8, however long you can extend that exhale out through your mouth. That is a powerful shifter for an overactive nervous system. And again, notice, right? Notice how you feel before. Do that 3 or 4 times and notice how you feel after. For me, on the exhale, you can imagine that you're like breathing through a straw, like you can kind of purse your lips as you're exhaling to kind of regulate how quickly that breath is coming out of your mouth so that you can really extend it and lengthen it. And that's a powerful tool. So that's number 3. And then the 4th way that you can calm an overactive nervous system is through weight and pressure. If y'all have ever used a weighted blanket, or even like you could even wrap yourself tightly in a blanket, kind of like a burrito, right? That calms your nervous system through this process that we call DPS, deep pressure stimulation. And the pressure of that weight, the weighted blanket, or like wrapping yourself tightly in a blanket, that pressure, that weight on your body activates your parasympathetic nervous system. That's your relaxation response. And it will naturally calm you. And y'all, if you guys have kids, this works for your kids too. Like you can have like a weighted blanket folded somewhere in a basket in the living room or even in their bedroom. Before bed, you can wrap them up like a burrito when you're reading to them or telling stories, and that will naturally help to calm them, right? It does kind of similar things that we were talking about earlier. It will decrease your heart rate, decrease your blood pressure, right? Decrease that muscle tension, and it promotes a state of relaxation. And that the DPS of a weighted blanket also stimulates the production of serotonin, you guys, which is also a hormone, a chemical that helps promotes feelings of calm and relaxation. Especially like that serotonin is converted into melatonin. We all know how important melatonin is for regulating our sleep-wake cycles. So that will help also to improve our sleep quality, which at least for me, probably for all of us, is tied to our mood, right? How well we're sleeping and the kind of mood that we're in. And another really interesting thing about DPS and using things like weighted blankets is that the research is starting to suggest that it can really help improve focus and attention for people with things like sensory processing disorders, ADHD, because it helps to promote that calm and regulated nervous system, which helps us maintain attention, right? That helps us concentrate more effectively. So if you or someone you know or someone you love is dealing with a sensory processing difficulty or something like ADHD, this is a great thing to try, right? Might as well give it a shot. And then the last thing that I want to share with you, the last way, number 5, how to calm an overactive nervous system, is swaying your body or kind of like rocking your body. Guys, there's a reason why we rock babies, right? Or we find ourselves like, especially after I had really young children, I would be like by myself at the grocery store. And I would just be standing in the checkout line and notice that I was just rocking back and forth, like swaying back and forth. And maybe some of you can really resonate with that. Maybe you've noticed yourself doing the same thing, or your husband or your kids are like, Mom, why can't you just stand there? Like, why are you swaying back and forth? Swaying stimulates our vestibular system, and that's located in our inner ear, and it contributes to our balance and our spatial orientation. And when we activate that vestibular system, it sends different signals to our brainstem and different parts of our brain that are involved in regulating our level of alertness. So when we activate these parts of our brain, we can help modulate our autonomic nervous system, which actually leads to a sense of calm and a sense of relaxation. So many ways you can do this. You can literally just stand and sway, right? Even kind of letting your arms hang loose. Sometimes I like kind of just twist my torso and let my arms kind of like swing. And another form of rocking that I've noticed in the last 6-ish months, I've been using this a lot. It really helps me regulate my nervous system and really help me to calm myself. I notice it especially if I'm having trouble sleeping for whatever reason, is I lay on my side. So I do this in bed. Especially at night. Like if I wake up, this is the first thing I do to help me fall back asleep in the middle of the night. So I just lay on my side, with my legs like stacked one on top of the other, right? My whole body just on my side. And I just gently rock my hips forward and back. And if that motion, like starting that kind of feels awkward to you, sometimes I even like, especially when I started, I just put my hand on the small of my back and I would kind of imagine myself like gently pushing my hips forward and back in like this rocking motion. And guys, I start doing this. And if I'm feeling any sort of anxiety, I notice within like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, something happens in my chest. And I feel it just kind of like loosening up and this sense of like relaxation coming over me. And that's it. Just that gentle rocking motion for me really helps bring calm and safety to my body. And it really helps to shift my body out of a fight or flight response. And guys, it might work for you. It may not, right? Every body is different. Every nervous system is different. So to a certain extent, all of these tools I've given you today are bio-individual. So every one of these may not work for you, right? You might try something and you're like, whoa, that was amazing. That helped. I noticed such a shift. You might try something else and you're like, oh, I didn't even notice anything. I just want to encourage you guys to let that be okay. Let this be an exercise in curiosity. I notice I'm feeling really anxious. I'm going to try one of these tools that Michelle taught me, and I'm just going to notice, right? I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to notice, did that seem to help? If it did, tuck that away in your back pocket because you can use it again and again and again. And if you try one of these and you're like, oh, wow, that didn't really seem to have much of an effect on my nervous system, that's okay too. That's just information, right? Check that one off, cross it off your list of regulation resources, and try something else the next time. That's all just a practice of finding what works for your body. Now, I also don't recommend that you try to do all 5 of these today, right? If you've written them down or you heard one that you're like, oh, I'm going to try that, start with one. Start with one and notice how your body seems to respond to it. Try it for a week, maybe. Try it when you notice you're feeling anxious or activated or irritable or edgy or whatever, and see what happens. And you can come back. You can always come back and listen to this episode. You can save it, come back and listen to it. And if it works, keep doing it. And if it doesn't work, try something else, right? You're going to end up finding something that works for you. And I just want to remind you guys, if being stuck in fight or flight is something you know you're struggling with and you really want help, like you want a coach to teach you and guide you, you're in the right place, right? Like I can help you. I would love to meet you. I would love to teach you how to regulate your nervous system on a really individualized level, like so specific to you. And we could go into so much more depth on any of this stuff as it relates to you, right? So if this episode has really landed for you, I encourage you guys, man, book a free 30-minute discovery call with me. There's a link in the show notes. We'll jump on a Zoom. Let me know what you're experiencing. What are you noticing? What are you struggling with? Like, what's not working? And then I'll share with you how I can help. And we can explore it together. We can explore whether one-on-one coaching is a good fit for you. We can explore whether one of my other programs might be a good fit for you. But I just want to encourage you and remind you there is support available. There is help available. You don't have to continue feeling how you're feeling. There are resources that you can simply learn and rewire your brain so that you can live how it is that you want to live. You can feel how it is that you want to feel. You can have the energy that you want to have, right? You are in control. You can achieve and receive and experience all of that. You just need the tools to do it. All right, so let me go through these 5 really quick again. Moving your body. As I go through them, why don't you guys choose one that you're going to incorporate this week? Moving your body, humming, laughing, or singing, that physiological breath, using a weighted blanket or kind of wrapping yourself up like a burrito, the DPS, right? Deep pressure stimulation. And then the last one we just talked about, swaying or rocking. All right, my friends, be well. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I love y'all so much. I'll talk to you soon.
If you love Mommy's Polygraphs, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com, where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.